Hello. This is exciting. So this is a very, very, very first career chat live that we're having, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm excited to bring in our guest. So my name is Adeze Ilaji Dagalanya. I'm the founder of African Women in STEM. I'm also a TEDx speaker, a leadership and strategy coach, and recently I just became an author. So I'm excited about all those things. But today we're here for Career Chat Live, and basically it's a series that is curated for African women in STEM who want straight talk and real strategies from women in STEM who are navigating the same experiences that either you are navigating or something that you're looking forward to doing. So our mission at African Women in STEM is to empower women to take ownership of their careers, maximize their potential, and pay it forward. And today, this series is mostly for paying it forward because there's always something that you have to offer the next person. So each week, on Monday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, United States time, I'm going to be bringing a guest and we'll answer your questions and give you insights. So if you have any questions, please DM me. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, DM me at Dagalanya, or if you're watching on YouTube, send us a message in the comments, or if you're watching on Instagram, just go ahead and DM African Women in underscore STEM. So I'm so excited to bring up today's guest. This is so funny. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I have to clap for you first of all. This is incredible. So this is Ozioma. Ozioma is, I don't know, we just met like last year. Yeah. But it feels like I've known you forever. So you used to be my dad's student, right?
Yeah.
Ozioma used to be my dad's student. So this is incredible and amazing. So she knew about me before I knew about her.
That's so true.
Because of course my dad talks about me and stuff like that. But I am so happy to have you here. So I want you to go ahead and just introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are, what you're doing. And then we can dive into the questions.
Awesome. So my name is Ozioma Ozioko. I'm currently doing my PhD at RPI. RPI stands for Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. It's a university in Troy. It's actually the oldest technological university in the US. So it's a big one. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. I'm doing my PhD in mechanical engineering, but currently I'm doing an internship at ASML in Connecticut. So I just got back from work and hopped in on the call. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being so generous with your time, because I know how it is. Everybody is busy, but I appreciate your time. So again, we want you to just pay attention, listen. Today we're going to talk about all things PhD, right?
Yep.
Because I've gotten a lot of questions recently around, doing your PhD and all the things around it. And so we're going to go ahead and tackle that. So if you're here, if you have friends that want to do a PhD abroad, or if you're abroad and still considering doing a PhD, this is for you. So listen, call your friends, invite them, bring them along, and let's get started. So basically, I am going to ask, this is a question I get all the time with PhD, with masters, but we're going to focus on PhD because there's a little bit more, I think there's a little bit more work involved in that.
Yeah.
So people are always asking, so how do I know which university to attend? How do I know which program to apply to? How do I know which supervisor I should be looking to work with, right? Because again, especially in STEM, most PhD programs are funded. You're going to be doing research with someone. How do you figure out who? So that you can align that with your interests and align that with your career goals. So let us know how you did all this stuff, because you're here apparently. So
yeah, that's an amazing question. I must say that's a great question. So the first step is to identify your program of interest. What do you want to study? Right? That is the very first thing you need to figure out, what you want to study. And I will recommend that what you decide to study has to be aligned with what you've been studying. For example, if you did a bachelor's program or master's program in a certain field, whatever program you decide to do in your PhD, there has to be some sort of connection. You don't want to do mechanical engineering in your bachelor's and you want to do literature in your PhD. Yeah, that kind of a thing. So you have to first decide the program you want to do. Now, the next step would be to select the country where you study the program. Yeah, because there are many disparities in the educational standards of different countries. So a few factors that could help in that decision would be Immigration policies. When you get this admission, will the country allow you to come? That's one. Yeah. Then secondly is educational standards in the country. You need to know that as well. Then availability of full fundings. I think I learned this the hard way because in 2017, I applied to several UK universities. The biggest funding I got was 30% funding. It was crazy, yeah. But then, in my personal opinion, many universities in the US have full funding compared to many universities in UK. So you want to check this thing, just keep this at the back of your mind while deciding which country you want to go to. Now, next step, after you decided the program and the country you want to go to, the next step would be to select a university. Now you know the program you want to do. Which universities in that country have this program, like an excellent program in that area of interest? For example, I'm studying mechanical engineering. So I need to figure out, if I decide to go to the US for my PhD, which universities in the US have great mechanical engineering programs, right? And while you're making this selection, it's also very important you keep in mind that you have to select universities that have fundings available. Yeah, so you select universities that have available fundings. Now, when you do this, I recommend you make a list of at least 10 universities in that country of choice, in that program of interest that have funding. When you have this list, you go over to the fourth stage, which is now selecting an advisor, right? So you go to Google, will definitely help you in this case. You can go on Google and search for something like, give me a list of universities in the US that have great mechanical engineering programs in PhD with full funding. There are tons of lists. So once you get this list, you begin to go through them one by one. You go to the website, confirm they have funding, then select 2 or 3 professors or faculty members from each school. So by the time you are done with this stage, you have a list of 10 universities with full funding in that country, and you have 2 or 3 faculty members in each of those universities. Yeah, so this is how you decide, select universities and faculty. When you are done with this stage, you now begin to reach out to them via email, one after the other. I'm interested in so program. I would like to work in your lab or work with you. Yeah, we call it cold mail. This is just you reaching out to the professors and declaring your interest.
Yeah.
So this is how you go about it.
I mean, I love the way you outlined it because again, with everything, like I'm learning to run I'm running a business, and I'm learning so much about like marketing. To your point, what you said about cold emailing. I mean, I did that when I did my master's program, but now that you said, I'm not realizing there's a link between the two, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's really no difference. But I like how you outline. First of all, you have to know what you want to do, and then again, having a background is going to be a strength because you're going to do a whole PhD, spend so many years doing research, and then figure out where you want to go, and then figure out, what programs that are there, and then figure out which professors that, have the kind of research you're interested in, pick 3 per school. So basically from what you said, let's say you take 10 schools. Okay, let's say you decided, okay, I'm going to the US. 10 schools, 3 professors, that's 30. And if you add the UK, maybe if you don't care. UK 10 schools, 3 professors, that's another 30. I mean, so basically it just keeps growing. But the way you outlined it, it's just going to be so much easier because it's a step-by-step thing. And because you have to eventually reach out to these professors, introduce yourself, ask the right questions, it kind of forces you to be focused from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that by the time you get here, you're not like, oh my God, so I have a professor in one program and I have 300% different program. You're going to be a bit all over the place in terms of what you're looking for. But again, I also see the fact if you're going to go into a page and do research for like a really long time, this is the beginning.
Yes,
this is the beginning. Oh my goodness.
Is.
Thank you so much for that. So please, I hope you guys heard this. If you didn't, I don't know if all the platforms have replays, but I know YouTube has and LinkedIn has. Can always go back and listen again. And if you have further questions, feel free to DM me on LinkedIn or DM Ozoma on LinkedIn as well. Or send us a message, African Women in STEM on Instagram, or comment on our YouTube channel. Because we really want, if you have follow-up questions, we really want to be able to help you and answer them. Because we're going to be doing this every week. So if you ask, we'll answer. We'll try our best to answer. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you, how long have you been doing your program?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
basically, what is one question? Okay, I'm going to ask you. Like, it's two questions, but pick whichever one you want.
Yeah.
So is either you answer what's one question that people ask you all the time about
Mm,
doing a PhD abroad, or you can answer what is one question that you wish they will ask you about doing a
yeah.
PhD abroad.
Both of them are incredible questions, right? I think
Mhm.
I'll go with the first one.
Okay.
What is one question I receive all the time is, my goodness, how did you get full scholarship? It comes
Oh,
almost all the time. And I
yeah.
think the reason why people always ask this question is because getting full funding is very, very competitive.
Mhm.
Yeah, you from the steps I listed while answering the first question, it already gives you a hint, an idea on how rigorous the entire process is, and even getting to the point where you submit your application and all of that. Yeah, but there are a few things I would, in answering this question, there are a few things I would recommend that will greatly improve your chances of getting a full funding. Number one is to follow the steps I just listed. If you follow these steps sequentially, it makes it easier for you to, strike your balls in a very focused way and definitely increase your chances of getting admission with full funding. The second would be to have a good academic standing. It's definitely a plus, right? Then the next one will be to ensure that the program you want to do, like I've said already, aligns with what you've already done in the past. Yeah, many universities will take you as an unserious student if you deviate significantly from what you've done. Yeah, like I already pointed out. Then you ensure that you select schools that have full scholarships. So while making the list of the 10 universities, make sure that these universities, they have full funding. You don't want to get admission and then they tell you, oh, we are sorry, we don't have any funding available. If you are
Yeah.
not sure, try to reach out to the graduate program coordinator and ask, I'm interested in so program. Do you have funding available? They are always more than happy to answer your questions. Then the last one will be to package your CV and your application documents, well. It's not just about the number of applications you are able to do. It's also about the quality of applications you put in. So when you're done filling your application and preparing your SOP and all, have people who are already experienced in this line, maybe people who are already doing programs in that area of interest. Have them review your documents. If it's possible, have 2 or 3 other eyes review your documents. They can recommend things that will brush up your program. This will definitely increase your chances. Yeah.
I love what you said, and a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I remember when I was applying to do a master's. If you went to school, I went to school in Nigeria. You did too.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you can't just walk into the office and start asking questions. They'll be like, "What are you doing here? What's the problem?"
That is so true.
Well, again, and I'm going to combine two things because you also said find people that are already doing what you want to do and reach out to them. Because I had a friend
Mhm.
that had already applied, earlier. He was the one that told me reach out to these people. They're more than willing to answer your question. Because if I
Yeah.
had taken my experience in Nigeria, I would not be that. I wouldn't reach out because
Open.
I'll just
Yeah.
assume that they're going to ask me why are you bothering me. But
Yeah.
what you said about people in graduate studies or the admin in this faculty, they are always going to answer your questions as long as you
Yeah.
ask. If they
Hmm.
can't answer it, they'll find someone.
Yeah.
Because I went to University of Oklahoma, I graduated 6 or more years after I graduated. I think it was up until maybe the woman, the admin in the department left. Because any Nigerian that wanted to go into the program, she asked me first though, so I told her I was fine. She'll give them my number, go talk to her.
Oh,
About so I
wow.
mean they'll give me all the experience, whatever they need from the school, but in terms of like what is going to be my experience as
Yeah.
a student or whatever, they feel like okay, this is one person that can. So they're always willing to help, even going as far as introducing you to people that can help you.
Hmm.
So that's really very important. So let me ask you, so when you still put all these documents together, does that mean you create like a career portfolio? Because I see some PhD people have like websites, or is it
Hmm.
like, do you have to create like an online portfolio thing where you put all your documents, or is this something that you just have and you submit with each application?
I think that depends on the program you're doing. So for mechanical engineering or most engineering programs, they don't really require portfolios. But if you are going into the arts, they usually require portfolios where they see all your artworks. For example, if you're an artist or a sculptor, let's say, they need a portfolio to see all that you've done in order to rate your quality and decide whether you are, whether you fit their program and what you are applying to do. Yeah, so it depends on the program of choice.
Yeah, and that's interesting to
Yeah.
know. there's something else that you said that basically like emphasize the fact that you can't deviate a whole lot from where you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to do a full scholarship, that means most for the most part it's going to be research if you're a PhD student. So
Yeah.
now you have experience in something that you're not using it at all, and you're telling somebody, "Give me full scholarship," and I have nothing
Do
to,
something else.
I have nothing to show you, or I
Yeah.
can't really, I don't really know how to translate the experience I had into whatever I'm going to
What I
do for
want to
you. So
do.
I guess that's the
Mhm.
importance of at least knowing what you want. But I do believe that for the most part, if you're doing a PhD, at least to some extent, you kind of already know, because it's like a long-term relationship
Yeah, it
that
is. It
you have
is.
to know what you want to do.
It
Well,
is.
Ozima, thank you
Yeah.
so much. And again, if you're listening, this is our first in the series, and I'm really
Hmm.
excited. We're going to be here every Monday, with another mentor answering your questions. So, as
Yeah.
always, the way you get your questions answered, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you have
Hmm.
any follow up questions from this show or this series, reach out to me or Ozioma on LinkedIn as well. So,
Yeah.
African Women in STEM on Instagram, DM us with your questions, comment in the chat,
Hmm.
or on our YouTube, just put your questions in the comments. So, again, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're learning so much. And if you have follow up questions, let us know. So the last question I'm going to ask, AI is a thing.
It
Okay.
is.
It is such a thing. It is so much of a thing. Ridiculous.
Mhm.
So how do you use AI now to make your work easier? Like you specifically, how do you use it to make your work easier?
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a very, very timely question. I'm telling you. Yeah. So being a doctoral student requires research, right? And to do a research, you cannot advance what you don't know. So you need to read tons of papers to understand, the current scope of the state of things in the industry before you can advance it. So my research requires that I read lots and lots of papers. But then to make this process easier, I employ AI. So there are lots of tools, for example, ulearn.ai or ReadCube papers. So what I basically do is I upload the papers I want to read. Say there are 30 papers or let's say 20 papers I want to read. I upload all of them there. It summarizes all these papers in a very concise way. Then I can read a very detailed summary of these papers. That way, I can decide which paper is actually relevant to what I'm looking for. Then this way, instead of reading 30 papers to find out that two are relevant, I end up just finding out that two are relevant, and then I go to fully read these two papers. Yeah, so AI has really, really saved me tons and tons of hours in reading papers. Then, yeah, one more.
I'm nodding because in my mind I'm remembering the good old days. Okay, keep
Yeah.
going.
Then, of course, in general study of things, for example, you are reading a text and an information comes up, you're not sure what it means. You quickly go on AI. What exactly does it? Hey Siri, what does this word mean? Hey Siri, what is this? So it has really, really simplified my research life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I remember. I mean, I went through this when I actually even with my masters because that was a long time ago. But
Yeah,
I remember like then, if you're doing a master's or PhD, literature research was a whole thing. People can
it
spend
is.
months
Yeah.
because again, those 30 papers that you picked up, you don't know which one is relevant. So you
Mm-hmm.
actually have to read all of them. I think sometimes people spend anywhere between 3 to 6 months, depending on how intense
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is. Just doing literature research is a big deal. But
It is.
I've been so far removed. I'm just realizing, oh my goodness, this is such a valuable thing to save you time. Maybe it might actually make PhD programs shorter since you're not spending 6 months doing
Well,
literature
the bar
research.
keeps increasing. The
I
easier it
know.
becomes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you save time on this, they'll add more,
Yep.
because again, I say that they want you there to keep up, to keep the work going. So, Azim, I want to
Yeah.
say thank you so much for being here
You're
tonight, and thank you for
welcome.
answering our questions in depth.
Hmm.
And if you have follow when you listen to this, if you have follow-up questions, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, reach out to Ozioma on LinkedIn, and send us a DM, comment in, wherever you see this so that we can pick up your questions and answer them. So we'll be
Yeah.
doing this every week. So go ahead and reach out to us, join us, and have your questions answered. So this is
Yeah.
again Real Talk for African Women in STEM,
Yeah.
where we answer your questions and give you insights from people who are in it and doing it right now.
Yeah.
All right, so this has been
Yes, it
wonderful.
was. Thank you so much for having me. Thank
Yeah, thank
you.
you so much. Yeah, one more thing. Again, at African Women we always have events happening. So don't forget to visit
Mm,
our website and check things out. If there's
mhm.
an event, sign up for it. If there isn't one, just sign up so that we can notify you anytime we have something happening.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ozioma, for spending today with me and
Thank
answering
you
all these
so much.
questions
Thank
and being
you.
so generous with your time and your talent.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank
All
you.
right. I will talk to
Thank
you all
you.
soon next week. Bye.
Bye bye.